Hi, this is Mo at kitsapsquatchwatch. Here, we discuss encounters with Sasquatch, other cryptids, UFOs, and the paranormal. Do you have an encounter or other strange tale to share? Email us at kitsapsquatchwatch@gmail.com. If you prefer, we can keep you anonymous and use an alias or use your first name only. We understand. Today's story is told by a family who lives on Old Belfair Highway. We are listening to Georgie, her husband Andrew, and their daughter Lily. Thank you for listening. Okay, we've got Georgie, Andrew, and Lily here. And you guys want to talk about where you live and how you came to live there?
Yes, so we live on Old Belfair Highway, which is between Belfair and Bremerton. And this was actually my grandparents' house. My grandpa was in the Navy and he got stationed here. He's originally from Louisiana. And he got stationed here, met my grandma, and he ended up building this house in the early 70s.
Okay. And then, what were their experiences living in the house?
So my grandpa never really gave any, but my grandma, so growing up, we have about 7 acres, and a lot of it is, forested in the backyard. And she was very adamant about you don't play in the backyard near the forest, like when it was, starting to get dark. And she would talk about and me and friends and the rest of the family were like, okay, grandma, like weird shadow people. And nobody we just thought it was grandma, telling tales basically. And so my grandpa passed away. This is kind of like an epic family story. My grandpa passed away and grandma was living here by herself. And I guess one night she was sleeping and she said she woke up to a shadow person standing at the end of her bed. And so she reached under her bed and grabbed her gun and blew a hole through the wall at this shadow person. And so when all of us in the family heard that, we were like, okay, grandma, you need to chill. That's a lot. And she was very adamant that grandpa was coming back and talking to her, that she was seeing these things in the house. And like I said, nobody fully believed her. It was just, okay, grandma, whatever you say. But now I can tell you, after living here for 7 years, she was so not wrong.
Have you ever felt in danger?
No, nothing really feels bad. The shadow people in the yard, kind of, how do you feel? Lily, I feel, they make me feel uneasy just because there's no definite what they are. They feel peaceful. They feel peaceful to you? So to Lily, they feel peaceful. To me, it's kind of like a little unnerving just because, when you do your online research, there's no real definitive of what these things are.
Yeah, I was reading that Middle Eastern cultures consider them jinns, which are basically like demons. But
Yep.
yeah, and these ones aren't making you feel like that.
No, you don't go outside and feel terrified. You just go outside, and if they're hanging out there, you're just kind of like, oh, you just kind of do your thing and we'll do our thing.
Okay.
What were you saying, Lily?
I think that, think about it, how according to God, non-believers will go to hell, right? People that don't believe in Jesus. I feel like the people that did not believe that are still kind-hearted are the shadow people, like people of different religions.
That's what you feel they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read so many different theories on what they are, and to me, it's just a rabbit hole that you get lost down, and there's no definitive, this is 100% what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, it's just kind of like I said, you guys do your thing, and we'll do our thing, and, y'all can hang out in the backyard. We just don't need you all in the house.
Yeah. Describe the shadow people for those who have never seen one.
You want to describe them, since you've seen them more?
Tall, slender entities with little white dot eyes that whistle. They whistle to communicate like a slow, and they also hum. They're really, really tall, taller than the shed in the back.
Yeah, I've seen tall, super skinny, kind of hunched, if that makes sense. Kind of bent. Yeah, they're bent. And what tipped me off about them is going out there and you see this shadow basically standing next to the shed or something, and shadows usually come with something. Something is making this shadow, right? So a tree might make a shadow, a person is going to make a shadow. This shadow has just appeared, and there it is.
That must be so unnerving when that happens.
It's freaky. It's, like I said, you almost just want to be able to be like, what are you? To have a conversation, but they don't communicate. The only thing we've ever heard them do is whistle, make this low hum sort of noise. They don't talk. We have other things that we've witnessed, outside of the house and inside of the house, and we'll get into that. And those things actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. But yeah, it's not a horrible feeling when you go outside. It's just kind of, to me, it's not super welcoming. It's okay, it's now nighttime. This is your area.
Yeah, you guys go back in the house. It's our time now.
Yes, exactly. The yard is yours. By all means, have your shadow party.
Shadow party.
Yep, the shadow
party. You guys have mentioned a tall man before. Tell me who you think he might be.
So, has the tall man hung around your room? Tall man is usually the boys' room.
No, this is, or Mr. Breathing Ears in the room.
You have the breathing ear guy. Okay, so the tall man hangs out primarily in my son's room, and I actually just asked one of my sons about it recently, and he said yes, he has seen him recently. But he is just this, they guess he's about 6'3", and he's this, what? Oh. He's, 6'3" is tall. Yeah. Well, they say he's as tall as, yeah, so he's tall. So, yeah, he's a tall guy. But they just say that he's this tall, skinny guy that hangs out in the room, and he's so we have a street light outside of our house, and so the street light goes off and on throughout the night, and it's annoying. We have blackout curtains and stuff for this reason. But they notice that if the light goes out, he basically slowly shows up, and he's just kind of hanging out looking at them. And they both have seen him, both of my sons have seen him at the same time, but I guess if they go to talk to him, he goes away. He's gone. And we kind of feel tall man could possibly be my grandpa. My grandpa was tall and skinny, very tall. Because nothing in the house feels bad. You know, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes you walk into a place and you're like, oh, I should not be here. You know? Nothing in the house feels like that. It almost feels, to me, it feels comforting. Like, I feel like I know these people. Yeah, my bedroom has had some interesting stuff. And what I also think is, Grandpa, one night, so we also have a 2-year-old. One night we were sleeping and my daughter ended up waking up. She sleeps in the bedroom with me and my husband. And she ended up waking up and she was crying. And so I flung my legs over the side of the bed to get up. And I heard this voice that said, "Go back to sleep, baby." Like a really, really quiet whisper of a man's voice. And what freaked me out, which was my like, oh my gosh moment, was my daughter obviously heard it too, because she went, okay, and laid back down and went back to sleep. And I was like, oh, no. So I did not imagine this. I was fully awake because she heard that. But the voice I heard, my grandpa called me baby. Like I mentioned earlier, he was from Louisiana. He had a pretty thick Cajun accent. And he said that this voice 100% said baby, and baby is what my grandpa used to call me.
That's very comforting.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, of course, you know, as a mom, the first thing you do is you jump up out of bed, you're turning the light on, you're like, you know, you are ready to throw down with whoever is in this room. But then it was like, wait, that baby sounded familiar.
Yeah. What else have you guys seen?
Let's go, Andrew.
Well, I caught a voice on video when I was going to check outside of Lily's room, make sure she closed the door or the window.
She has a habit of leaving the window open at night, and it was raining that night, so instead of going...
It was cold.
Oh, it was cold.
It was cold, and I went outside to scare her a little bit and close her window from the outside. And while I was out there, I noticed there was a bunch of garbage outside her window. So I started to record to show her mother the evidence of her dumping things outside, and I was narrating. And then when I went into the house to show her mother the video, and that's when we noticed two voices on the recording.
I sent them the recording too.
Okay, so obviously the recording is when I noticed that the voices were on there, and I was the only one standing out there by myself in the dark with no one nearby.
That's so cool.
I didn't hear any voices while I was out there. So just, wow, that was on just the recording.
And we used to watch this show back in the day called Ghost Hunters. And on that show, they would like do these, you know, paranormal investigations, but their thing was they were trying to disprove that there was anything happening. You know, they would check pipes and they would, you know, check and see if there was any other way that things could be making noise. So here it is. What time was that? Like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning? And we were like checking Lily's room to see if she had like her phone on or if there was like a radio on. We were checking like the TV to see if the voices that we heard could have been like from a TV show that was on. We like went around everywhere trying to figure out where these voices could have came from, and we got nothing. There was nothing. And when you listen to the recording, it sounds like it's two distinct voices. One, it sounds like it's saying, and it's really hard to hear, but to me, I hear she's sleeping. And then another one is a full-blown panic. But the guy is like full-blown panicking, saying, "Go away, just go away." And we were like, "Okay, like, you win. We're just trying to close the window. We'll go away."
Yeah, I was thinking about it after we talked about that first voice saying go away, and I was like, man, I feel kind of bad for making fun of that voice, because chances are that was probably that voice's, like, last moments or something echoing in time, and I was like, wow, I'm a jerk. But
I don't know, because the way it lights up, though, it almost sounds like that. It could either be that, what do they call that, like a residual haunting or something?
Yeah.
Or he was panicking because we were just trying to close Lily's window at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, either way, it was like, oh man, he is in a full-blown panic over this.
Man. I'm going to pause this video for a second to show you the video that we're talking about. In the video, you see Andrew filming and commenting on the toys outside of Lily's window. The only edit made to this video was my deletion of Lily's real name being mentioned. Toward the end, you will hear two distinct voices speaking. The first voice sounds panicked. The second, collected, but you can hear it say she's sleeping.
This is my window. All kinds of shit been thrown out.
Go away! Go away!
All kinds of shit been thrown out.
Go away! Go away!
And then Lily has the deep breather in her room.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about the deep breather?
He won't let me sleep. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but I'll be trying to sleep and I turn around and all I hear is Darth Vader in my ear going,
Ooh. Ooh.
Maybe he needs an inhaler.
Maybe.
So she gets that, and is that the one you named Grape?
no, Grape's the one that likes to be by my window.
Oh, so Grape was the one that was probably panicking.
No, Grape's, interesting. Grape's the one that left the handprint.
Oh, yeah, I sent a picture of that. The handprint.
Okay.
Yeah, she has nicknamed who or whatever that is. That is Grape.
Grape's awesome.
And then you had another incident where your foot was grabbed.
So when I first started living here, I was in another room, and I'm laying down, getting ready to go to sleep, and it felt like something was like grabbed my foot and tried to pull a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it happened, I shut up and looking around and turned the light on and everything. There was nothing or nobody there. And the suggestion of it could have been the cats. I'm like, no, cats don't feel like they're pulling the blanket or your foot. And luckily for me, that's the only experience I've had with that.
So you mentioned blankets getting pulled off of you guys before. Has that happened to many people in the household, or just a few?
I think that's my lucky thing from them, is just getting, like, blankets tugged. Or do you get that too?
Just check me and be like, are you not with that here? It's clear.
It might be. Like, I've been sleeping and have had where I've almost had to fight to have my blanket pulled back on. Where, like, the blanket is slipping, it is, you know, I'm wearing, like, a, you know, totally rocking a fleece onesie and a thick blanket, so it's not like a silky blanket that should just be slipping off, and the blanket is, like, slowly being pulled down, and it's like, really? Like, no, we're not doing this. Like, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I am not messing with you.
I'm not playing tug of war right now.
No, we're not doing this. I am tired. I gotta be up at, you know, 7:30. Like, just go do your thing. So, I've had that happen. We've had stuff that's been misplaced, but then again, with that, you never know, because there's 4 kids in this house. So we've had stuff that's ended up in, like, very weird spots. But I almost feel like whoever is here, I feel like they just kind of want to be known. Like, they're not doing anything bad. They're not, you know, we have a mutual agreement. You guys do your thing. We'll do our thing. Don't be all freaky at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're good. So I feel like sometimes they just have to kind of like show up and be like, haha, we're still here. And I'm like, cool, you do your ghosty business, and we're going to do our live business, and we'll call it good.
Kind of like they have to blow off some steam.
Yes, kind of like, you know, knock, knock, your house is still haunted, and we're like, we know.
Do you guys ever, like, walk into a room and experience any weird smells?
Have we ever smelt any weird smells? Besides Mommy's perfume overdose. No? Have you ever smelt anything weird?
No, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I don't think I've ever smelt anything off.
Your ancestors put to with you, and that's where you got it from.
Haha, you're funny.
So what went?
Yeah, nothing really.
What went through your mind when you guys played back that video and heard those voices talking?
I looked immediately at him. It was like, who is out there with you? And his eyes were like 6 inches out of his head. And I was like, oh, this isn't normal. Okay. And that's when, instead of trying to jump the gun of, oh yeah, we definitely caught a ghost on camera, it was, okay, we got to try to figure out if there was a way this can be done.
Yeah.
And, you know, but yeah, when I first heard it, I looked over at him, and the look on his face was like, and he doesn't get shooken up too easy with stuff like that, you know? So when I looked over and saw his face the way it was like, oh, like, yeah, that's when I knew, oh, we really caught something here.
Yeah. How does the rest of the family feel about living there?
So at first, my sons were like terrified because of Tall Man. But now they're not, like, at all. They'll just tell me that Tall Man came to the room last night, and I'm like, oh, did Tall Man say anything? Nope, Tall Man never talks. Okay, well, what did he do? Oh no, the light came on and he was gone. Okay. So they're not scared of it at all anymore. The youngest daughter, when she heard the voice, I mean, she didn't freak out. She did nothing with it. So she, like I said, all she said was okay and went back to bed. And I'm like, hey, whoever you are, like, if you can get her back to bed, like, you are welcome here anytime. Like, show me your ways. So she didn't seem freaked out at all. In fact, she just listened and went back to bed. I mean, nobody here, at first it was freaky, and, you know, like I said, when I moved in, I was like, oh my gosh, Grandma, you were right, like, I'm sorry for disrespecting you, but now it's just kind of normal. It's just kind of like having house guests that make themselves known every once in a while, and then they go back and do their own thing. It doesn't feel freaky at all. It's
Okay.
just, this is how it is. They are house guests who don't pay rent and basically stick to themselves, and every once in a while they have to be like, oh, by the way, we're still here.
Has this changed your perspective in life?
I have you guys had any differences of perspective after living here?
No, I just want to come and shy people. That's it.
You're not going to be a shadow person.
Dang it.
No, not really. Like the shadow people, I guess, has changed my ways where I don't necessarily feel like this is solely my place. I feel like it is a shared place. But not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you guys just, like I've said probably multiple times in this interview, you do your thing, we'll do our thing, and it's fine. But yeah, I don't feel like this is just our place. I feel it is multiple entities, ghosts, whatever you want to call whatever is here. I think it's multiple things, places.
Okay. How about the rest of you? Has it changed your perspectives?
Have you had any change in perspective at all?
That no one's ever truly alone.
That nobody's ever truly alone?
Yeah, even when they want to be.
That's a good one. Andrew?
I don't know. My perspective is the same. I come here, come to the house, I eat, do what I gotta do here. And if they want to do something, as long as it doesn't hurt nobody, it's all good.
They do their thing, we do our thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like the general consensus.
Yeah, like I said, nothing has ever, they haven't done anything that's bad. I mean, when people hear like, oh, our house is haunted, I think they automatically start thinking like it's totally like Poltergeist or something living
Oh, yeah,
here.
or like Amityville Horror or something.
Yes, exactly, and it's not at all. So you just kind of get used to it. You know, when we first moved in, it was kind of creepy, and now it's just how we live.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything to add?
I don't think so. I think to anybody who is like living in our situation, like you're not alone. Like I think that, I mean, after talking to a few people about this, you know, people have said, oh, they've experienced stuff like this, or oh, they've seen shadow people but never brought it up because, you know, they didn't want to be seen as crazy and stuff like that. And if anybody is listening to this and you've experienced stuff, you know, I just want to put out there, you're not alone. Like, we live it every day. And I totally understand. Like, we get it.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I love about this is like I'm hearing from all these people who have had all these similar experiences, and it feels like a little club kind of.
Oh, it does. Like, if you bring up anything, you know, you're kind of selective who you tell because, you know, you can tell almost immediately if somebody's going to be like, oh, you're making it up, or oh, this is a bunch of malarkey or whatever, you know. But when you do open up to some people and you hear their stories, you're like, oh, then you get it. Like,
yeah. And then everybody gets excited.
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, we're not alone. We're not crazy. This is great. Yes.
Okay, so this is just advice. First of all, never whistle indoors. Second of all, never be awake at 2 or 4 in the morning.
That is good advice.
That is very good advice.
Yes, if you do have shadow people, we have talked to many others who have dealt with them, and the general consensus with that is if they whistle, do not whistle back. So that is one rule we do have at our house, is if you do hear it outside, you do not whistle back. We've heard that from quite a few people. Like, some said it's like an invitation for them, and some can get irritated when you whistle back, and it's not a good idea. So if you hear them whistling, like, for us, that's our cue to go inside. Like, okay, the yard is now yours.
You guys have been given some solid advice.
Yes, and if anybody has advice for us, since, we didn't go into this being like ghost hunters or anything like that. Like, we had no clue. So when people give us advice, we're like, yes, give us all the advice you got, please.
I got one last thing of advice. If you ever hear your name, or like if you hear breathing behind you, never turn around.
Don't turn around?
Yeah, like if you're sleeping and then, because I've heard you, like, you call me, like, when I come out, because I was thinking that you call me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, never turn around, especially, like, if it's, like, a weird time. Just don't turn around, like, at all.
See, now this is how I'm going to end someday, is I'm going to hear my name being called, and I'm going to turn around, because that's going to be automatic.
Why shouldn't we turn around?
Yeah, why shouldn't we turn around? I'm curious.
If you turn around, bad things will happen.
Bad things will happen?
Yeah.
Have you ever turned around?
There's a high chance that your dreams will get more vivid.
Oh.
You might have more conviction. Oh, so like they're like trying to get your attention and communicate with you in your dreams?
No, it's more of they're trying to get you to invite them.
Oh.
Oh, so like
I would
you
don't
turning
think so,
around is like acknowledging them.
Basically, if you turn around, you're going to have some things in the house.
Ooh.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Solid advice.
That
But
is
like
very
I said,
good advice.
I'm going to hear my name and be like, yeah. So yeah, that is our story, and you know what? I actually like it. I love living here. I think it's great. I think it keeps things exciting.
I'm glad, because like I've been in haunted houses before, and like I had a dog haunt my house for a couple weeks to say goodbye, but I don't know. Maybe, I guess, no, I did live in a haunted house in Port Orchard one time, and I'd hear footsteps upstairs, and I'd run upstairs, and I'd be like, hey, is anybody here? And nobody would be there. But, that was weird. And I guess at some point I did get used to it, but the doors would randomly slam shut, and that would freak me out, because, I'd be alone, and then a door would randomly slam.
Yeah, that would totally be it's when they do something solid is when it gets me. Like when the one did talk to my daughter and was like, go back to sleep, baby, and she answered back. That was like, oh, okay, like you are here.
Yeah.
Right. But then other things where you don't see anything, like little things, like the foot grab, the blankets, the stuff like that, that's just more like, okay, and you kind of brush it off. But when you get that solid thing, like the handprint on the window, the voice on the video, the voice talking to my daughter, that's when it's like, okay, you guys came to play tonight. Oh,
yeah.
Right. Like, you guys are definitely bringing that energy.
Well, I'm really glad I got to talk to you guys tonight, and I think this one was a better phone call than the first one, even, because now we've got the recorder, and we got more people in on the interview this time with different perspectives. So I want to thank you for letting me reschedule that with you.
Oh, I have a blast with you. Like, this was great, and I know my daughter was like super pumped because I asked her, do you maybe want to give some of your story since you've been, front and center with it? And she was all hyped about it. So it was kind of cool being able to include everybody.
That was Georgie, Andrew and Lily from Old Belfair Highway, telling us about their experiences living on Grandma and Grandpa's old property. You've been listening to Kitsapsquatchwatch, where we discuss all things having to do with the paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, and anything else strange and unusual. If you have an experience you'd like to tell us about, email us at kitsapsquatchwatch@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.